Okay, I'm going to share a pattern. If you look, this is the last year. This was just a year ago on 12/24, 12/25, whatever it was, 12/26, where the market reversed. If you notice, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not there, but we've got 5, 6, 7 patterns that all duplicated. Once they formed, every one of them pointed that the high of its high would be taken out. You can see it happened on the first one, this one, happened on this one, happened on this one. And then we come down here, it happened not here, but came up and came out, made highs over this, but more importantly made the high of itself of the previous one. Always, what these are basically saying is that it will not go below that until it makes its new high. It will not go below that until it makes its new high. It will not go below that until it makes its new high. Same here. We just finished up 2 of them right here. Let me give you an idea. Let me break this on a little smaller time period. We'll do hourly. Okay, this was a year ago, almost now. Next day or two will be a year ago. Okay, so notice this pattern, a crab pattern, and it goes up and makes a new high. When it starts, it makes a new high. Here's its X. Here's its X. It starts, makes a new high. The pattern completes. Let's go a little bit further here. We have the same thing here. Once the X has been made and the pattern starts, it takes it out. Once the X has been made, the pattern starts, it takes it out. All right, we've got these over here. Let me spread this out a little bit so we can see this. And this is where we had a big drop, but the patterns still tell us a lot of information. Make sure I've got it right. Let's get that a little bit bigger. And we'll look where the projection is. All right. So here's our projection way up here. And in order for these to work, they usually go to this area here. So at this point, this would be drawn out to this area here. There's our pattern. Very deep crab. Here's another one. Very close. Well, let me measure it to be sure. All right, that's be the best thing to do. It's going to be close, but we'll just do it there. Very close to the other one. So they're very, very close. And when you have a double pattern showing something, that's usually pretty strong. So all we're expecting is to take it out the high of each pattern. So this, once it makes the X, it's going to make a new high. Once it makes the X, it's going to make a new high. Let's go and see where it does. Well, let's put a little drawing over here. This was a previous high. Whoop, that's not going to work. And the idea behind these patterns is they will make a new high before this bottom is taken out. So let's go ahead, we've got our line there. Here we have another pattern. I'm not going to draw it, that's going to be somewhere up in that area. Alright, so all three of these need to get above this, and they have not gone below our lows. And when you have these patterns, you can trade off of them well before they complete. We are looking for a completion. Okay, there we go. At this point, we fulfilled all three of these. This is the one we had to take out the high. We took out the high of the previous ones, took out highs here, took out highs here. Now we have all these patterns showing the same thing over and over again. And we come up to where we're at now. And this one was drawn out, and this one was called out as well. As soon as it took over that X, we expect it to take out a new high. And so it expands up into here, and it made its high. It was already here, but here it's got to make a new high over this, and it makes its high, creates a pattern up here. This is what we're working off of right now. And we had a small one in here that is more iffy. This one is kind of iffy a little bit. So I'm not making a big pattern out of that. But here you can see all these different patterns repeating over and over again. Let's put this back on a daily. And we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 patterns that all completed and made their new highs. This one's a little suspect here also. That's why I didn't have that one drawn out before. But we're looking at 7 or 8, and every one of them has fulfilled their patterns once they cross their X point. So this is what we're looking for now. This is how you can trade. We'll use this example here. This is wonderful. You have your X. Your A. Your B. Your C. At this point, you have a D with a question mark. But that's just part of the battle. Once you have an X, A, B, C, the B becomes a wonderful place to take along. Look at that. Once it goes above the X, that's where you get that strong acceleration. And you look at that. So let's look at this one in an hourly. And we'll see what happens and what kind of pain we got. So let's look. I'm going to remove this line. It's already served its purpose. Let's put another line up there. Alright, so once we get this much pattern done, we've made a nice bottom where it looks like it's going to be a W pattern of some sort, even extended. We come up here to B and look at this big move that we run. Once it breaks through there, boom. Now personally, I will take these on the first run. Smaller time periods maybe, but I'll take them. But I prefer to let it hit once, go up through it, come back down, and then take a long. It takes a little more time, a little more waiting, but look at that. There's no pain when you have that. And the same thing here with the X. I do not take that almost ever on the first hit. It goes up through, comes back down. On the next hit, you probably will. You have a pretty big move down in here. Let's see, this would have been 94 to, oh yeah, would have definitely had a stop behind that one on there. But then when it comes again up through there, until it goes as pattern, these are very, very tradable with very low risk. So let's go all the way over now to where we're at now. This has been called out quite a bit on this last pattern. And look at what happened here. And this was one that definitely I got into, and got into over here. You got your line right there. Definitely got into this one over here. Boom, and rode this one up. In fact, quite a few rode it up that watch on what we do. All right, so now we're here. What do we wait for? We wait for a reversal pattern. I'm waiting for one. I'm looking at 29.50 as a reversal pattern, but I'm not going to do it today. It was a beautiful trade today. In fact, I called this out today. This one, showed it last night. This would come up and retrace to probably the 786, 886. I think it went to the 786. But it doesn't matter. That was it, and the short would have been 29.50. So let's just see what we got here. That was where it went up to went to 707. That is certainly close enough for me. Had I been here, I would have shorted that this morning at the 29.50. But you've got to know why you're going to short those. Anyway, I'm just sharing this. I'm not trying to make a lengthy pattern out, but I want you to see this is what I look at on these type of patterns. Okay, this is made on 12/24/2019. My goal is, if this holds, which it did, this 22.50, 22.75, it came one tick below it. That's very bullish. If that fails, it's going to go down. But what I expect it to do, and this is just what I'm looking at, doesn't mean I'm calling a prediction, but I expect this to now go up into here, make a new high, and come down. Whether it'll do that or not, it's another story. But that's what I'm looking for. If not, I have a couple more places here. I will look for a short on it. So I hope that helps a little bit. I don't know if I'm sharing anything that you know already or don't know, or you may be far ahead of where I'm at. I'm just sharing what I look at. Okay, this is kind of an interesting formation, to say the least, as far as what's going on here. This, I think somebody was saying megaphone or whatever. But anyway, if we look at this and we see the movements, we have a movement down here, the 162. That's a pretty nice move down. Nice ABCD pattern down there with the extension to it. So we've got that level right there, the 162. And then we go back up. Almost to the 100. Let me see what this one does with the okay, well, that's a nice extension between the 113 and 127. That makes a lot of sense. Just the Fibonacci retracement moving up. We have here a really big, interesting. Let's see what this one does. Boy, this is a big ABCD equal pattern. We got to go all the way back over here is where it moved back up to. Look at that, right at the 127. Just a perfect movement with that. And when this comes back up, notice all these pivots. These were the two big pivots it took out. Really took those out strong. Let's see, we go back here. Oh yeah, I even took out these, all this side pattern through here. So this one really did a number on it. Let's go back and go back. So we got this A, B, C, D down into here. All right, so we have a move up. Had quite the move up. There's not an A, B, C, D, A, B equals C, D pattern. This is just continuation pattern, up and up and up. Let's look at this from over here. See what the retracement would look like. Okay, that's really nice. Now that's a 113 extension pattern. That's usually a reversal pattern, at least of some sort. We've got indecision on this one right here on the 4-hour. We've got markers on right here that it wants to come back down to in a marker here. Whether or not it'll do it, that's another story. This is actually, I shorted last night because of this one. I didn't short just because we're up here. I shorted thinking we'd go back down to this one, and that is a target right now. It's 57. Let's see, so we've got the 113 here. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to remove everything except the 113. Just so I have a reference, I'll leave the 127 up there. Let's see what this looks like. 127 is 85, and it could certainly do that. All right, hit the 100 on the little ABCD here, and the 113. I'm just going to remove that. 113 is a really nice place for it to turn. This has just had an unbelievable move up. And let's just see what possibilities we have with a retracement, if it makes any sense at all. If that 113 holds, that's a long ways down, but it needs to move somewhere. All right, so that's always a possibility. We just have to see on this right now with the movement. This is a bar right here to see what it takes out the top or the bottom. That's what we're looking at, and hopefully this is going to take it back down. If we can drop below this 67.75. But this is really the level right here that I'm looking for it to go back below at 53.75. It went up to it, came down, took it out, touched it, came down, went through it. Now if it would go down it, what I'd like to see is it go below it, above, and then back down. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but this is pretty interesting right here to watch. See if we have a continuation pair, because this is a marker that it wants to go down and take out this low. And it would make sense to go down some with all this move up to have some type of retracement on it. Doesn't mean it's going to do it, but it does look like it's possible. Okay, let's look at this on an hourly. Just get a feel for this. Oh boy, that sure looks like it wants to go back up, don't it? Anyway, so we'll see what happens with 113. To get this started, we've got to get below this one here. So let's put a line on this. It's bouncing on it. If we can get below this 67.50, is that what that is? 67.75. All right, did that go below that one? That one is a 67.25. $67.25. Okay, double hit, didn't take it out. We would expect this to take this out a little bit. And this is what I'm looking for it to get down to, at least into this area. That's what makes sense. Doesn't mean it's going to do it, but that's what makes sense. And if this 113, and it's also a small little ABCD, AB equals CD pattern stopping here. So there is some resistance here. We got to break some of this, and we need to break this again. So this high here is 63.50. Okay, a lot of maybes. Don't really know what it's going to do. It's been quite the mover. But if this holds, I do expect you to get down at least below this and challenge this. And what I'm looking for, if it will do it, is go below here, back up somewhere to challenge in this. possibly in here where it would fall down. And then as it comes back down, if it does, that would be a short to me in that area. That's what I'm looking at. And I'm expecting this low to be taken out, but that doesn't mean it will. You got to see what these two bars do here. Nice little move down. Stop right there at this point. Should go below 67.75. We're at 68.75 now. But we can take back off and go above the 74. A lot can happen. Okay, just looking and not really sure what to expect until it shows us some more. This is 1/9/2020, 8:18 a.m. Let's take this and try and put some structure to it. We'll see if we can make it make some sense. We have a high here. We have a low here. This is the swing we're working with. One of these has to break out for us to continue trading. We can trade within it, and that's fine. But the very nature of a pivot point is to be addressed, challenged, taken out. And one of these will be taken out one way or the other. But let's break it down a little bit. We have this high in here. This is our swing that we're working with. To give it structure, we can use a trend line and just show from where to where it goes. Is that enough? Obviously not. So let's take and remove that. Let's take an ABCD pattern. The nice thing about this, as we draw these out, this is a pattern that repeats over and over and over again. And whenever we have something on a swing like this, particularly during a day of a 1-2-7, A, B, C, D, into a 1-2-7, we have a bottom pattern. Then we go up. Notice what we have right here. Let me take and remove some of these lines so they're not in the way. Our 1-2-7 is an area that we expect something to take place. Possibly be removed, possibly do whatever, but we expect something here. So now we go up. Notice what we have. Do you see the pattern from here to here? We take our A, B, C, D, and we have a 7-8-6. Is that enough? Well, it is based on what we're looking for. We can also remove that. We can take the smaller leg of this, the very first one, come down here. We're still in that 7-8-6. That's okay. That tells us that we're going to move back down and then probably move back up. But notice an interesting point on this as I remove this. We'll do the same A, B, C, D here. And now notice the 7-8-6 in the retracement. That's very bullish when it does that. If it holds, and we thoroughly expect this to bounce up and move much higher if this 7-8-6 holds. It's what we're trying to do to see if we have made a bottom, to see if this 1-2-7 is valuable. We go up to here, and notice an interesting thing. It's a 6-1-8 is an absolute beautiful spot for it to move back to. So we have the 7-8-6, the ABCD, the 6-1-8 all in the same basic area. We have basically a confirmation that our low is in place. How do we confirm it? When this pivot is taken out. So let me remove these. We know we've got a good pattern going. And as we look at this, let's look at if we can put some structure to it again. We have it go up and it comes down. We don't know where it's going at this point. We have some good idea, but notice what's taking place. So we're going to take our ABCD and we're going to make our pattern on this and see where it hits at. We'll go to there, we'll go to here, and we want to see what our 1-2-7 is. Notice that 1-2-7 is a stall area. Boom. But where does it come back down to? Do you notice what we're doing here? Up, we hit a 127. We expect some kind of a stall, some kind of something to take place. We're at the area of roughly 24.94.50, and it comes down to 24.81. Decent little move. Now let's take and put some structure to it. We're going to take from this low to the high of that 127 and see where it traced back to. We expect it to be at least a 3.2. That's an amazing spot to be able to work with. So let's put our 3.82 in there. And notice it comes right to the 3.82. Almost perfect. That is what a very bullish move that we're taking place. Now, let's work from this again. We're going to take and remove the retracement line. We're going to use our extension from this low to where that high was, the 127. We're going to come down to where that retracement was, which was the 3.82, and notice what we have. We come up here above the 786, break it, which tells us we're probably going up more. We come down to another move. This one looks like it's a little bit deeper, but it's probably a 5.0. So let's take and check this again, make sure we still have our structure going. From this low that had been a 3.82 up to here, oh, we're almost at 6.18. That is an excellent place to be able to hit. Let's just put our 5.0 in there just in case. Okay, that area is where we want to be at every time. The 3.82 are between the 5.0 and 6.18. That gives us some structure. Now, what happens next? Let's look at this from this bottom. We're working at before, up to the high, come back down, and notice what happens. We hit our 786, and that gives us a real good idea that we have a shot of going above there. Now we know this was the night when Apple had some kind of problem with its earnings. Everybody overreacts. We have a problem with the market, and it's going down. But do we see the structure that's going on here? Let's notice this. Let me remove this. And let's talk about structure. We had an A, B, C, D down into 127. We showed our different fib numbers all the way up. But let's look at this. We have an A, B, C, D into a, what do we have here? We have a 1. We come back down, we have a 2. By having this structure, we know this line is our pivot that we're going to break if we go up. And that is a perfect place to buy as it's going on here. Notice there's always a fight there. There's always back and forth, back and forth. It's the nature of pivots. But as we go through here, we can expect this to buy this. We got a 1, 2, and all the way up here is a 3 wave. Pretty interesting, right? We have an A, B, C, D down. Let's just put this in here. Many of our wave 4s are an A, B, C, D down. And if it stays right at the 786 to 100 area, notice that hits the 100 to the perfect spot, and we expect it to go up. We even called that particular spot there during the day. All right, let's remove that. What happens after we get a wave 4 correction? Everything is in place to make a 5. Now, a couple of things about a wave 5 that are very interesting. It goes up and takes out the 3. It went up here, but it didn't quite take out this high. This high over here was 23. I guess not. No, it was a 24. 521.25, and this high was 20.50, so it didn't quite take it out. But we wind up with a 5 wave here. And that's how we combine Elliott wave with harmonics. This gives us a very nice structure. If we can learn to read this, we don't have to worry about being shaken out, having problems, or anything. What do we usually get a retracement from? Pretty much anywhere from the 618 to the 786. Let's just see what we got. Let's take our drawing tools. Excuse me. Let's take from here and see what kind of confluences we get. We have down here that goes to the 618, but it's above the 786. I would not be a bit surprised if we get this into the 786, even down below, but we want to stay above the 88. That's the area we want to, and we really want to stay above the 786, if at all possible. But do we notice what we have here? We take this top, you go down, up, and we're at a 162. That's a pretty nice move down when we consider where it's at. And a 162 is kind of the extreme, and the 2.0 is the one that we do not want to go through. Do we see what happens here? We see the structure of it with our Fibonacci retracement. And notice where we're at. In between these areas, the 618 and 786, which is where we expect it to be. Can this go down further? Of course it can. We don't know what it's going to do. We just project and try and figure it out. Now, there's another really nice point here. One of the best trades we're going to deal with whenever we have a move like this is when it comes back down to take out to 3. Now we can take it and just simply remove it if we like, put a short right there. In fact, during the day I was telling everybody, I was typing, if you look at the transcript, if it goes below the 25.1275, it's a short. But it isn't just simply going through the 25.1275, that 3 line. Very, very high probability trade if it does this. But notice what happens. We got a 3, it goes above it, it comes below it, it goes above it. Now when it goes down below here, you'll see me call that out a lot of times, it's a short. The reason we want to take this particular short, there's almost no pain with it. Plus, we only have from here to here for a stop. The farther away you go, you got a lot more stop you have to do. If you look at this high, 25.1275, to 25.2550, so you got 8 handles that you have a stop. Is there a concern with it? No, because this bar right here is where we're going to go down. So the worst scenario we would have is about a 2-handle pain, and most likely we wouldn't have even had that because we don't like to buy or sell on the very first hit. We like to do the second one. We'll go into more detail of that. I don't expect you to catch all that right now. So we would thoroughly expect this to be a short going down. And now what do? Well, at this point, we have a pivot high, pivot low. We want to look at our Fibonacci retracements. We're going to put from this low to this high. We're going to remove the 618. We're going to remove the 88. And we got a 786 here. We're also going to take this from here down to that low. Remove the 618. Now we have a 786. This is the area that we have to break here or here. Once we do, it tends to go on through if it gets past the 88 and take out the pivot. Right now, we don't know where it's going to go, but we have a lot of areas up here that we could call resistance. but we have to see what the market allows us to do. So I'm going to stop this at the moment, this video, because that gives you an idea of how we just do structure. It's not important if you remember all this and you know all these things. That's not the issue at this moment. The issue at this moment is understanding there is structure. So let me take and remove this. We had an interesting time. Markets are closed today. Just looking at this a little bit, seeing what it might be. I don't know if we open the night or what we do, or in the morning, whatever. But looking at this on a 15-minute chart, you just see a lot of movement up. A lot of movement just keeps going up and up and up. Here we've just got a sideways pattern. What are we looking at? Just pivots are a big deal with me because they always hunt these down. But let's look at, and I'll give you an idea. Here we came up, came down. This was taken out just by a little bit. Came up, took this out, said that this is probably going to be taken out later. Came down, did not take this low out. And look at this here. This, let me draw a line. These are things to keep an eye on. All right, with that. So we have a pattern. When one of these breaks, it's gonna take off that way. But we're not just drawing lines, we're drawing it at pivots. So notice this one came down here, messed around, never took it out, went up and everything. Finally, when it came out, boom, it goes up. Comes down and gets close to retesting. All right, so now we got to move up. Let's remove this one. Let's remove this one. And let's look at our ABCD pattern going up. So we got here, to here, to here. All right, we get a nice move to this one. We can pick any of these we want in here. And then we can remove that. Oops, sorry. Wrong one. Now we got from this one to this one to that. And we hit our 127. Very nice place to turn around. That's what we look for, is these areas right in here. All right, so let's look at this. We now have this pattern going up and sideways. So let's, all right, we're going to work on this one here. This is our swing on a 15-minute right now. This is what we're looking at. All right, came down, danced around the 382, came down just a little bit, worked on these pivots here, not going anywhere. So we have two things that can take place. This can stop here and go up, or we can take a nice AB equals CD pattern down. Which one is the most logical? I'm not sure logic always fits with everything, but all right, it's 786. Very, very strong possibility to get down into this area. That would just make a lot of sense. The 618, 127, 141. That's if it takes out these two, or we could say it takes out this pivot. So this is one possibility we're looking at, and certainly a strong possibility. But that doesn't mean it's going to follow the pattern. So let's remove this drawing. Let's remove this drawing. Notice these two here. I had this marked before this day ever occurred. These are 2275. Came down here. It went, what it did, went up, make a new high, made an ABCD down into that. Let's see, that should be, that is probably pretty close to 100, but it might not make it. Nope, still 786. Okay. So we're looking at this. It tends to go through, but when it stops at a 786, that's pretty bullish. So, but these are the two right here that I've been waiting, and that's why I say it has to get below these two lows. This one got below it by one tick. So we've got this move up here, that this one went above this. Notice how it went above all these right here. All right, and then reversed back quickly. So right now we've got a pivot right here. Let me remove this one. Got a pivot right there. One of those two are going to be removed. Both of these really didn't move a lot the other day. Both of these have a strong pivot that they're facing, that one there and this one here. So they're going to go up or down, obviously. Nothing like stating the obvious all the time. Let's see what we got here from this down to here. All right, we got to 618, almost 76. So if this holds, it's right here 382, and it gets above this, then we're going to retest into this 886, which we really need to get up here to retest this to see if it's going to go down or up. But we can easily go down and complete this A, B, C, D down into here. So it's just a matter of watching. Now we do have a pretty nice little pattern going right here, forming a nice little W pattern there if it holds. The fact that this took this pivot out here by one tick is pretty bullish. That means there's a pretty big wall of stops underneath there that stopped it for some reason. Now it can turn right around and boom, go right down. That's not hard to do. But the potential is either way. So I'm not calling bias either way. I've got a very, very slight bias, I guess, up a little, but I'm not. The last couple of days were really small. It did exactly what we thought it was going to do. Moved pretty much. This even went up and tested almost a 786. But it could easily turn around and we could have a nice run up into here. If we get up into this area here and stall and turn around, we got a really nice place for reversal. And this would be our reversal point here, 34.25 or our 29.50. We could do either one. So right now the 29.50 has been a short, but if it gets above it, we can go some more. So, you know, before when I said bias, it's really hard. It's with the market up, there's nothing that's told us it's turned around, but we still have to look at it where we're going. So for me right now, this pivot at 31, what is that, 31.25. And this one at 22.50. Okay. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not sure where it's going to open, where it's going to go. It can take off either way. But this and this are telling us they've got a target up here and a target down here to go through. Got a slight little ABCD pattern going up here. If it looks like it's just barely triggered. Oops, wrong. That's it. Okay, let's see what we got. And up into this area. If it does that and stalls right in there, boy, that might be a really nice place to short. It'd be a sell Gartley. So we'll just have to see. If not, it goes up and we go into a butterfly. But this probably going to get a small little bounce right in the middle here somewhere, and we have to figure out which way we're going and watch that. Okay, for whatever that's worth, it really doesn't tell a whole lot, but this is, as long as it opens within this range, one of those two is going to be the ones I pick as either short or long. Okay, for whatever it's worth, this is 12/25/2019 at about almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm assuming it opens up this evening sometime, or maybe tomorrow, whichever. Okay, I have this on the 1 hour, and we'll look at it. And I am short at 28.50. I got in way too early. I really had planned to get up in this 31 area, and I don't know why I put my, anyway, it's irrelevant. It's just what happens. All right, so right now, what I'm looking for, if this holds, If this 31 level holds, this was the A, B, C, D down, and that was this is the level that's got to hold, 40. But if this holds, we're going to look for the top of this bar right here, which is 24.25. That's what I'm expecting to get down to. If it will do it, it's got to break down below these pivots. So this one here is 27.75. It struggled with that. It's below it. This one here is 26. That's going to be hard to break through. So we got to get below that 26 for this to continue. If it doesn't, and it gives some kind of indication it's going to go back up, I'm going to probably close out my short. But if we can get below this 26, right now this 26, well, that'd be considered a short area at the moment. But we got to get below 26 here for this to keep going down. And then the target is all the way down here as a possibility, because we should get down into this area. At least 32 should be pretty realistic. Okay, we're at 26.50. Let's see if we can get anything going on here to get below that 26. If we get below that 26, which is going to be hard to do, it's going to be a support. If we get below this 26, then the next low is this 24.25. If we break below that, we're going to go all the way down here to the 18 level, is very possible. This is where we'll start getting some stalls in here. But this was my marker where to go, and 31 area was the major resistance on that. Right now I'm looking to get below the pivot on this one at 26. We're at 26.75. So I'm just showing you, trying to do this live a little bit to show you what it is. And we got this pivot here. The low on this is 26.25. So that 26 is it's going to be a pretty good area to get below. We're at 27 right now. This can certainly go back up. All right, I'm going to pause this for a minute. Okay, we're still in this 27.50. I do not like this action here at the moment. This is going to want to go back up a little bit and retest. And I'm not comfortable with that. I got in it, did not get in at the optimum price. So if it gets over this, yeah, 27.75 is about all I want to do. I'm going to put my stop at break even at 28.50 and redo this trade in a little bit. If it takes me out, it takes me out. I got in too early. It really needs to break that 26. Needs to break this pivot here. Stay below this 75 or not go above it by more than a tick or two. And then I want to see this pivot right here at 26 be taken out. And it's probably going to take me out. It's only 3 ticks, but it's okay. You just live to trade another day. And I'll come back and we'll see what happened here. I'll pause this for a moment, see if this, I don't want to make this an hour long. Okay, we're at 28 right now on the MES. There we go. Probably will take me out. But I'll wait and see what, after the market opens, see what goes on. It tends to move up as the market goes, which it moved up quite a bit this morning. Let's see if we can just get this to break down just a little bit more. Below 26, I'd feel pretty comfortable with it. At this point, it's flip of the coin whether it's going to take me out or not. Okay, going to pause this. There we go, it's going to take me out. All right, so it's taking me out. If we go back up here and test this, this 31 level should hold. If we get a test of that around 31, or I'm sorry, around 30.50, I may short that again. And right now the 28.50, let's see, not 28.50, the 27.75, it needs to go below that. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a moment. Now this is going to be interesting if it takes out the 31 level. If it takes out this 31.25-ish area, we're going to go up higher. And then the next one that looking at is going to be around 40-ish. So we'll see what goes on there. I'm still looking at a short somewhere, but I've got to find a good place for a short. A retest of this high we just had is really needed. I'm going to pause this for a moment. Alright, let's see if we get a break. 2850 is still a good possibility. But let's see if we get a break. If we can get up close to 3050, I might short this again. This is really how it should be done. Let it make its high, come down some, go back up and retest that. 3075 is a major resistance area. And if we get above it, get above 30, get close to 3050, I may put in a 30, or a 2950. Although the 2850 may have been the right place, I just didn't leave my stop far enough. Let's see what we got here. We're at 2875, 29. We really should get, let me pause this, put on a shorter time period. Okay, here's a 5 minute. This is what the pattern fulfilled. Let's see if we've got what we've got here. All right, so we want to see a retracement back up to about the 886 at the most. Let me remove this box. All right, the 618 is 30, is the 30 area. This is a very strong temptation to short this again. This low on this one is 2950. It's hit that. We're at 2875. Boy, 2850 sure looks like a short again, but we need to get this up into here, at least to this 30 area. Yeah. We should get on up to about the 30. And we'd like to see this 3075 area, 3150 area, 3125 area would be a nice short. I'm looking at that. Let's see what we got. 32, okay. But if we get up and take this out, we're going to go higher. But then if we get up into this area, 3268, this 32 would be a short, and I would take that one. Let's see what we got here. See if we can get up into this. Let's see, we're breaking this pivot here, 2950. That may hold. Let's see what we got. $28.50 is definitely a short now, and I missed it. Let's see if we get back up into there. This would be so nice if we had options, if we were open for options right now. All right, let's see, we've got a possible pattern going here. Still looking for this to go back up. And let's see what we got. It's still trying to go down. Let's remove this one. It goes below the 2750 and back above 2750. Okay, now we've got maybe a low on this bar right there. And this puts us right around that. Let's see how that looks. that 31-ish area sure looks like a sell. Let's see if this pattern fulfills. I'm going to pause this for a moment. Okay, this is having a hard time going up. This may be a simple retracement up to the basically 618 almost, and then back down. That is a normal spot we'd look at. Ideally, if we could get this little Gartley pattern going, that would fit perfectly to make a short. Somewhere in that 30, 50, 30, 75, 31, right in this area here. What I'd like to see it do is get right above this bar here, which is 30.75 by a tick or two, and then short it at 30. And it'd be a very small stop. But we'll see what happens here. All right, let's see if this is going to go on up. Okay, this has a good shot of getting up there and retesting this high, which is what we need to do. Came down below this pivot, but didn't take this one out. So we're still in this move up. Gets above this 29.75. It should burst on up, but this should hold. So right now we've got a little Gartley we're looking at. This is our X, A, B, C, and possible D up here. And we may not get there. But for those who want to see us, this is how we can play out these things. It's sure looking like I should have stayed in at 28.50, doesn't it? But we don't know. You never know for sure. This still has a possibility of going up a little bit more. I'm just looking for a good place to turn around and have it a good excuse to go back down and take out the low overnight. I'll pause this for a little bit and see what happens. What I'm looking for, if this holds somewhere in here, is to get back over the 30 level, which is this one right here, 30.75, or over this level here, which is 29.75. This one we need to get over so we can take out stops that are here. This one would be ideal if we could get up into this 113, whatever. This pattern here would be a nice sell. We may just go on down. If it takes this out, if it takes out this low, we're just going down. That's all there is. But it's got stops up here. It may want to grab some more of those. So we'll have to see what's going on. Ooh, look at this. If we get below this, we're going down more. This is this instead of being a Gartley will now become an A, B, C, D down. And this will be the trigger right here. This will be the short at 26.50. That's the one that's been a problem. That's what I was looking for earlier. Let's see if it'll do that. If we get below 26.50, we got a good shot of this going down. But we have to wait and see. It has to actually break it, go down and come back up and retest, and then it'd be a short at 26.50. But I still think we're going to go up and challenge that high a little bit. It just makes sense. But that doesn't mean I'm right. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a moment. Okay, I'm going to change this around a little bit. We went down, retested this low. Remove this line here. Okay, now we have to put another line in here. We tested the 88.6 perfectly right there, and we're back above the pivots. We get above this pivot, which is 27.50. We're at 27.50 right now. This should take us up to go into here. So this is a very strong possibility. This is how you got to look at these patterns and see what they are. I showed you what I'm talking about. Since we talk a lot about Fibonacci, in context is where you look at Fibonacci and retracements. All right. 88.6, which is right there, hit it just perfectly, just spot on, just a tiny tick below it, not close enough to worry about. So if that holds, this is a point that usually holds for a little bit. If it doesn't hold and we break that, we're going down. If it holds, we're now looking at this number to take out at least this high here, at least this B point. We could easily go up into here, and we could easily take this out. Ideally, getting to 32 and reversing would be perfect. I would take the short here at the 32. We get 32.60 something, I'm shorting it. So we got a good chance. So watch this now. We're above this pivot. This pivot here is a low of 27.50. We're at 27.50 now. We need to break this pivot. There we go. We just broke it. We should head up higher here. I'm going to pause this. Now, I'm just going to play it. It's long, but it'll be a great training tape for how you work on a reversal area and see what we've got. Okay, so it's already above where I was at, so I was okay getting out of my short at break even. Let's see if we can get up into here a little more and go down. We still have a target at the low. Whether or not that's going to happen immediately is another story, but we're looking at this. All right, so we're getting up into here. We should break this D out. When we do, it's going to accelerate a little bit, but this is going to be hard to get over this one here. All right, they're going to want to get above this to take out people who've got their stops in here. That's why I didn't want to stay in it. Once it gets in this and moves that, you got a good shot of it going back up. So it's wanting to go back up above here. This would be an ideal spot for reversal and shorted at this B point, which is 29.75. We may not get there. We may go up. But this retrace of here, but ideally this is where we want to get up to. 31.25, 31.50. Retest this and roll over. Or the 113 would even be much better, because then you'd take out a lot of buy stops. The market makers like to get up somewhere where they can take out all the stops, and then they take the inventory in and go back down. So right now I'm gonna turn this off. Watch for this pattern. You can see if it's going to go up to here or up to here, but this or this. That's what I'm looking for, one of these two here. If it goes here and holds this, almost any place you want to get short in these areas, a break down below this one, I would like to break below this B down here, which is 29.75. We've hit it right here. This is hit 29.50. Okay, we haven't taken that out yet. If I believe this was going up, I'd have a buy stop right there at 29.75, and that's where I'd be going long at. It isn't worth it for just a couple of handles here with the market the way how easy it could turn around. So if this holds, and we still have an A, B, C, D down. So we're either going to have an A, B, C, D down here, or a sell Gartley, or possibly a sell butterfly. Now if we look at this real quick, we have, oh, we already got up there. This B is a 618, so this makes a perfect Gartley that we're looking for to go up in these areas. All right, I'm going to turn this off, send it if anybody wants to watch it. If not, it's a good exercise. Let's see, maybe we should watch it for a minute longer. Okay, we'll watch it for a minute longer. It's long, but this will be used for training. But this is, we have the pattern here that came up and fulfilled somewhere in this area, the retrace. We had a big move down. You get a big bounce off of those big moves, and we got to see where we're going. I do expect this to take out this high here of 29.75 and either get into this area here around 30, 30.50, something right there, This right here, the 30.50 will be a pretty big resistance. But then if we keep going up in here a little further, this 113 would absolutely be perfect for a pattern. A little butterfly and then back down. That's what I'm looking for. And if it would wait till we open, then I would buy a couple of puts. Much less risk, and you can manage them a little better. But we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm going to stop this, and please follow this along. This is 1/3/2020 at 9:06 a.m. The market opens in 24 minutes. This is pre-market activity, but this is what I'm looking for to get somewhere in these areas. This may give you enough time to look at this and see what's going on. Okay.